Okay. I think I got everything going. Let me double check. Alright, yep. Cool. It's so dark in my office. I forgot to put my ring light up. My bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Uh, Alright. So, hi everybody. It's us Fabled Court. I think it's just gonna be me and Lucas again. Um, yeah. Um, so this month you guys voted to donate towards Action Against Hunger, and they help not only feed people within our country, America, but they also help um, feed people across the globe. Usually T's the one that talks about this stuff because they're really good about it. Um, I'm awful at explaining anything. But before we do that, we, I don't even have anything planned for this time. I don't even know what to do. So, again, oh, sorry. So instead, I think it would probably be best if we talk about how Thanksgiving, or what I like to now call it Friendsgiving or National Day of Mourning, how, how we see it and how we celebrate in our own way. Because as somebody who is trying to gain roots back to their culture, um, because I mean, our mom's Indigenous and our birth father's Indigenous, but we weren't raised in the on the res or anything like that, and we didn't get to grow up knowing that family. Um, so I don't, I know me and my siblings have talked about it a lot of times before. Like we weren't able to learn much about our culture other than what our mom already knew and what my our grandpa or our uncles would tell her. Um, that's a whole situation on with that. But I never felt like I could say anything because I felt like I didn't know enough, and I always felt like this weird disconnection to my culture because of it. And I know now, as I am learning to decolonize myself, that just because I don't know that much or I wasn't raised with it, was the whole purpose of colonization to begin with, was to completely eradicate us and anything to do with us, like our spirit. So they tried it. It's not completely like a lot of us are still here and stuff, but I have really been trying to get connected to my culture. And doing so, a lot of things have changed for me over the past, I want to say really, really like made a turnaround in the last 5 years. And with that, like I don't call, in my house, we don't call it Thanksgiving. We call it Friendsgiving, National Day of Mourning. We recognize the genocide that happened to our people. We reconnect with our culture. I talk to the kids about what it's about and whatnot. Um, but yeah, Lucas.
I just eat lots of food. No, so we spent Thanksgiving, I live close to my parents and grandparents, so on my dad's side, who is white, and so we just had like a traditional Thanksgiving, just lots of food. Um, it felt like there was less ceremony, than what we normally would have had, like when we were younger.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if that was motivated by anything or just happened to be what it was. Um, but I know when I went, I was sending messages to people on Thanksgiving Day. I called it Friendsgiving.
So what is your like? Where are you at with your journey on all that? Or are you like
I have
still?
no, I have no idea because like all that feels very far away from me. Like it's a 6 hour drive to get to the reservation in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm there, it just feels very foreign.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who acknowledge me as family are very warm and welcoming, but just my personality doesn't afford me much. Um, oh, I knew what I was where I was going with that, but it left me. Um, my personality type doesn't isn't that or is what was I trying to say? I thought I captured it again, but well, either way, I'm the type to observe before I try to participate and join, and so I haven't quite gotten past that point of observation.
Okay. Well, see, that makes sense to me. Cause like I'm already past that phase where you are right now. Like I don't focus so much on what I don't know. And I don't, I mean, I live close to some reservations, but not the ones that I recognize that I know as our, our families on. Like, I mean, we live nowhere near the Tohono O'odham reservation. And like, I'm so far away from South Dakota. But like, I make it a point to research, reach out, and do as much as I can on my own to figure out what it is. And I don't know. I don't feel like the more and more I learn, the less and less I feel like I don't belong. Because yeah, I wasn't born on the res, or I never was able to have the opportunity to go meet family. Um, but I don't feel anymore like just because I don't go there doesn't mean that I can't do my own stuff. Like before, I used to be like very like it's not my place. Because being raised in an environment that's predominantly white, I didn't feel like I could be Native American or Indigenous because I was mostly white because of my upbringing. Um, and I think that's like it is a lot more common than we realize, and that's exactly what was the intention was to what they could who they couldn't you know commit genocide upon. They try to kill the spirit of the native people, and that meant like having them assimilate, stop singing their songs, stop practicing their culture, stuff like that. Wearing their hair the way that they did, long and proud, to assimilate to colonization. And like it's I don't know if it's because I have children that's the reason why. I know when before Silas was born, I was really adamant about um, just letting it go and just doing what I needed to do to regain my culture because I was, and I think the turning point for me was Dapple and hearing our own family members going through all that mess back in 2016. Um, and, it's like I think we are talking about. It's like you don't fully realize or you don't get the big picture until it's in your own backyard. You know. And for the longest time I didn't understand. And like I look back on things and just like ugh, I was so in my bubble and I was comfortable where I was and I didn't see the big picture. Like you they say you are the company that you keep. Um and you're like a projection of the people that you surround yourself with. And not saying that, my parents were bad people or anything. I don't believe my parents are bad people. I mean, mom's on her own journey of, you know, uh, decolonizing her own self. And like, I know it's caused a lot of bumps in the road when it comes to our family, but like, luckily that we're still open enough and honest with each other that we can start the healing process and getting over those bumps. Comment. That's also why Hanukkah Kabai, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is so important. Hanukkah is an emotional adoption of other indigenous people. Everyone is uncle or auntie or niece or nephew. No one is removed. We need each other. Yeah, I believe that to be true. I also I also try to make sure like all the social media and stuff that I watch, I make sure I follow a lot of indigenous owned businesses, a lot of content creators, and it helps me. And like especially also I follow a lot of people who are in the same situation as we were. Um, Growing up with a parent who is indigenous but wasn't hadn't had the opportunity to be around their family a lot, and then end up, you know, raising their children the same way, like just knowing very little. So it made me feel extremely low. There's this one creator on TikTok I saw. He for the longest time until recently, last few months, recently just not accepted, but like was like, who cares if I was on raised on the res or not, or anything like what I do or what I don't know about my culture, because he was like, I'm Tohono O'odham, but I know nothing. He's like, I know nothing about the Tohono O'odham culture. He's like, I know my grandma was Tohono O'odham, but like for some reason I can't remember exactly what it was. He couldn't get registered with the tribe. Blood quantum, and blood quantum is what the government used to eventually like not help us anymore, or what do you call it? Um, Kept true to the treaties. It was just another way of getting rid of us and erasing who we are and what we are. Um, but yeah, so he was just talking about how he felt misplaced, that he wasn't white, but he didn't know any other he didn't know anything else growing up. Um, but he clearly wasn't white, but he really wanted to learn his culture and stuff. And he's like, I think he's almost 30 himself. And he reached out and took like anybody who knows the Tohono O'odham culture or anything like that, or like what I can do to who I can reach out to learn more, because I want to learn more. And all these other indigenous creators I see, and they're like embracing their culture and they like stuff like that. And he's like, I feel connected to it. Like I feel a calling. And that's what I'm talking about. Like from 2016 till now, I'm just feeling this pull, this calling to get back to what makes me me, my culture. Like I feel this like spiritual pull to know more about my culture and to teach my children. and I think I was talking to T about it too. Assimilation is also a part of Indigenous experience. Colonization pulled many families apart, children from parents. Our culture is dying, and not by accident. Unfortunately, we have to decolonize. Exactly. I agree. And that's comes with the other a lot of uncomfortable situations. I know there's like a lot of gatekeeping. Um, well, I say that, but at the same time, like people I've encountered trying to reach out to and understanding more about our culture have been really open and honest and like accepted me with open arms and didn't make me feel like an outsider. Um, but yeah. So like I'm at the point now where like we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in my house. That's not what we do. Like we don't have like the traditional turkey or anything like that. I think this year, me and the kids and Ryan did, um, you know, we were talking about what the holiday was based off of and how really it shouldn't even be a holiday anymore. I mean, like, I know, like, I don't celebrate Christmas as a Christian. I celebrate Christmas as a commercial holiday. So it's basically how I feel the same way about this, but like, the more I'm learning about it, the less like I don't know, but this year in particular was really, really like I felt really icky about calling it Thanksgiving.
Well, this year we also had all that stuff come out about bodies being found
Oh
from
shit! I didn't even put
schools.
that together. Yeah, no. Yes, that's true. Oh, that's probably why. It's like a breakthrough with my therapist. Yeah, no, really the residential schools. Last time I checked, it was over pushing 8,000 children, and that's not even all the residential schools. They haven't made it to all the residential schools, and that's just really heartbreaking. Like every time I think about it, it just makes me really sad because there's families that parents that had to go with their lives just not having their babies, or little children who didn't get to live out their lives just based on who they are as a person, not even like just because they were indigenous. It's just really sad. Sorry. I mean, I talk about it a lot with Ryan because he's my partner, and I vent to him a lot about all of this stuff, and there's just so much hate in the world, and I usually have like this really like I'm a bitch. I don't give a shit, like but like there's just so much hate in the world, and it just really makes me sad. And they were kids, and I don't know how any person could do that to another, like a grown person, like uh, adults treating kids that way, like just discarding them.
Because we were seen as other. We weren't people. We weren't as smart. We weren't as technologically advanced.
Uh,
So we were seen as lesser. And so they felt justified in treating us as lesser.
yeah. What was it? Um, we don't buy into the if it,
Unification.
unification lie. We talk about what happened. We express thankfulness that our ancestors survived for us to be here. But the day is a funeral in our home, and we eat funeral food. They really didn't think we were discarding kids. Oh, they didn't think they were discarding kids. Is exactly what. Cause it's horrible. It's generational trauma and stuff. Changes DNA. Yeah. Sorry, I have terrible dyslexia, so like it's really I get my words changed up a bit. Like, um, but yeah, no, and like I can see, and like, especially my oldest, um, and I don't know. I know like I think we briefly talked about it before on our channel, but there's this thing called the seven fire prophecy, and essentially what it is, like the seventh fire, the seventh generation from this happening is supposed to bring us back to our roots, bring our culture back and thriving more than ever. So kind of like a phoenix, and that would include my kids and our nephew, and I can see it, especially in Tegan and Charlie. They're extremely proud of being Indigenous and are eager to learn in a way that I really wasn't as a child because I was really confused. I was really confused. I knew I was Native American, but I didn't know what that meant. Um, I don't think growing up that I can remember that we were any in school with any other Indigenous children. Um, at least I didn't know any. I think we were the only ones. Um,
My experience was often that I was treated as Mexican.
yeah,
Like anybody who met me or talked to me, especially with the last name Montana, assumed that I was Mexican
yeah.
or some descendant of Spanish.
I mean,
So my experience growing up was just uh, being treated as a Mexican or Mexican descendant,
right.
which isn't specifically untrue.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Papago, Tohono Nation came from the Mexican Arizona area,
Hmm.
and so there would be integration with Mesoamericans.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Tohono O'odham Nation used to Tohono O'odhams used to be called Pavagos, which means bean eaters. And then I don't know how it transitioned to Tohono O'odham, but I know it means desert people.
I believe it was like in 1986. Uh, they changed their name to Tohono.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just like I definitely believe in the seven fire prophecy. Um, I mean, there's things that Tegan knows more than I do, and it just baffles me, and I'm extremely proud of my kids and extremely proud of our nephew, who is absolutely gorgeous with long hair. He looks beautiful. Um, yeah, I'm just really emotional. I learned very early that people didn't think I existed, and that some part of
There's a
me.
part before that that leads into
Oh
that.
shit, my bad.
I always remember in being in fourth grade and learning about Columbus, and I remember proudly announcing I'm native, and a boy yelled, "Nuh-uh, natives are extinct," and that really stayed with me. I learned very early that people didn't think I existed, and that some part of them didn't want me to, but I didn't have many connections to heal that within me. It hurt my soul for my whole life. Lol.
Whoa. Aw, hi Leo.
Hello.
Yeah, like, and then like I said, I'm like I follow a lot of indigenous creators and stuff, and then I see like I see I saw this really really cute TikTok. It was really sweet. I don't know if you know who Modern Warrior is. He's like a really like influential activist for indigenous people of color, and he's always trying to educate people on indigenous culture and rights and treaties and stuff like that, and calling out people who have colonizer behavior. And he was tagged in this video of a Auschwitz survivor, and Modern Warrior was like how it said something about his nose, and he turned to the side profile and said how he used to hate it, and that he grew to love his nose. And the Auschwitz survivor was like, I used to be made fun of my nose too. And he was just like I stand with you. And it was just like, it was really emotional and really sweet and also really fucking sad. Because in my mind in history, like that's the only thing I can compare it to of that genocide is Jewish and Holocaust survivors. Um, so I'm really emotional. I don't like I said, I usually talk about this stuff with like Ryan or T when I don't have to cry just texting. So it, like no one really sees me like messed up about it. And I think it's just because I don't know, like you said, like I didn't even put two and two together. The residential schools and everything really really fresh this year, in particular. Him with the casual LOL. I mean, sometimes you gotta switch things around, but yeah. Uh, but no, I just it's just seeing that and um, like people from Ireland, like Irish people, commenting about how they stand with the Indigenous and Native American people, and will always do that, and how they had a tribute statue for a specific tribe. I can't remember. For when they were going through hard times, the potato famine, and how they'll always remember it, just like it was. It's generational trauma for them as well. And like people, I don't think other people really truly understand what generational trauma is, and I don't think I don't even fully understand it. But it's crazy how it just you like the whole residential school thing just really really messes with me on a really big level. Um, and I can't imagine what those families went through. And very much too, I feel like these conversations are so good for my soul, but it's so hard to know where to start. Oh no, exactly, 100%. I mean, that's the first step though, is talking about it and recognizing that it's real and exists, and like having to sit in that uncomfortability. That's how you grow though, is being comfortable with being uncomfortable and pushing through. Nothing worthwhile comes easy, and that's not just physical work. It's also emotional and spiritual, like soul searching stuff that you have to do. But I fully believe that you'll get there, Bubba. And it's a process. It's a lot to have to go through and sift through. I remember I was in like a lot of emotional turmoil because I didn't want to step on any toes. I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to be like a bad representation because of what little I know. And not that I don't worry about that, because I proclaim myself as a Native American Indigenous woman. But I'm also not withholding about how little I do know. I'm still learning. It's still a process for me. It doesn't mean that I've learned that I can still be proud of who I am, even though I don't entirely know what that is. My Native American culture is so far. So, but I'm still working on it, and I still want to learn. Um, it's important to me. It's important that my kids know. So much to unpack and so much hurt that's just tucked away. I didn't even realize how much my soul was hurting until it washed over me. I was so sad and so angry for so long. But seeking out other Indigenous people helped a lot. Uplifting each other became so healing to me and is so important. Exactly. um, is there anything like that you have learned that you didn't know before about our culture in particular? Not even just about our tribe, just in general.
There's a lot of things. Um, so one of the last visits I went back to the reservation for was to attend a powwow. However, I didn't actually go. Um, Something happened. I was sick, and I ended up just staying in the hotel. And like, I was on the tail end of being sick, so I could have gone. But this was also like a couple years ago.
Right, pre-COVID.
Yeah. Uh, it might have even been before Dapple, but either way.
Mm,
Um, but I still felt very much like I know that this is what my blood content is. I know that what my blood quantum says is that I belong here, but I still didn't know anything, and so I felt like being there, I would be interpreted as just another tourist as opposed to someone who was trying to reconnect and trying to figure out where we stood in the greater scope of everything,
mm,
not just within like society or American culture, but like almost like a spiritual connection,
yeah,
something beyond myself that would allow me to feel like I could connect, like I was allowed to.
right. Yeah, like you. I don't know. I'm assuming that you felt like you an outsider. Or did you? Yeah. I know. I know. Me and mom have been talking about uh, um, going to the rest together at some point. Um, at Pine Ridge. I am hella nervous about it because, like I said, I know next to none about our culture. I know what mom has taught us, and I know what I've been learning over the last few years, and I still don't feel like it's enough. I feel like there's a. I mean, I'm. I mean, we're behind years, but still. So I feel like I don't know, but I also know me. I do well in tough situations. I just power through. Mm. I do have a lot of questions though. So, I was curious. Do you feel that like spiritual pull? Like, do you know what I mean when I say that pull to learn more about your culture? Like a
I
calling.
I, I wouldn't call I wouldn't define it now as a spiritual goal, but I've always been a curious person. And then realizing that there was so much more that I didn't know made me want to find out about it. But because of how, and I don't know that I'm using this word correctly, how secular our culture is, or how secluded our culture has been, um, as it was in an attempt to be erased so that we could be edged out of our land and out of these treaties and deals that were made that weren't honored, that were tried to trample on and uh, cheat out of. Um, a lot of people, uh, storytellers, um, educators, stop telling outsiders stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's a dearth of information that's available for me from where I am right now to be able to find.
Yeah.
So it almost requires a legitimate sojourn, um, to go seek it out.
Right. Yeah.
But that feels like such a significant time and financial investment that it's not practical.
It's discouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where I don't know how many people who would be able to just diegetically be able to give you those kind of experiences, tell you about stories, folk tales,
Mm-hmm.
um, experiences are even around anymore. Especially with the couple times that I have gone to uh, Pine Ridge, the amount of substance abuse and addiction that is there. I don't
Yeah.
know that anybody from our generation would have that or be able to share that, or
Yeah.
from the generation previous. Because I see a bunch. We have an aunt, who I believe might be able to do and share that stuff, but if I recall correctly, she's the last of three sisters,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It feels like a path is closing,
Mm-hmm.
and my time to be able to explore that path is running out.
Right. Yeah. It definitely kind of like what is it? It makes me kind of envious of people who have I don't know, maybe you can follow me. Have stayed in one place for so long since their birth till I don't know when they decide to move out of their city or something like that. That I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I guess I feel like I don't know where I was going with that. I had it in my head, but then I lost it. This is how our culture is dying. Elders are dying faster than they can pass things down. And generational trauma makes the aunts and uncles who should be teaching us now unable or incapable. Yeah. And it's true. There's a lot of substance abuse issues within our cult, within like those communities due to generational trauma. And suicide rates are astronomical. The rate in which women and children, Indigenous women and children, are being taken and missing is outrageous. Um, it's just like you said and T said. It's just It's built against us for a reason. And so messed up. That's another. I mean, it's another reason why these whole like oil companies and bringing in their shit and stuff. Like that's when, not it's not the only time, but that's like the highest point in which our missing and murdered Indigenous women and children go missing. The highest. Influx is so high. It's crazy. And so we have that, combating with assimilation, substance abuse because of the generational trauma. It's just so much stuff. It just breaks your heart, you know? And that's just one particular group. That's not even all the other shit that's going on. And I'm saying that now because like I fully recognize that there are other um, people of color or people of the global majority that are going through similar situations, similar things as well. Particularly Black lives that come to mind. Um, but in itself, and like, so I'm just saying, like, I fully realize that there's other communities that are affected and cultures that are affected as well. But just because I want to acknowledge that. It's just heartbreaking.
I don't know what MMIW is.
Murdered, missing Indigenous women.
Okay, there are no statistics kept for them, but we know that 4 out of 5 Native women will experience assault in their lifetime. That's more than any other ethnic group combined. Yeah, it when people who will do ill are given an opportunity, it is hard for them to resist it. And so we find ourselves as a cultured people in a position of lack of protection, lack of interest, lack of people who have power to be able to look out for us. So that's why we find ourselves in a place where we are taken advantage of in this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've taken to saying people of the global majority, but that doesn't include natives.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, so in America, white people are the majority. But in
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the world, that's not the case.
Yeah.
But natives are only here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be mistaken. I am speaking with no information.
No, I get what you're meaning though. I mean, there's other indigenous cultures, but Native Americans specifically.
Yeah. Especially since we were carted off to reservations. And I know that what our mom said when we were growing up is that um, when her mom, our grandma, was growing up on the reservation and met our grandfather, that there was a lot of excitement and um, joy about her being able to escape the reservation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She didn't want her children to grow up um, impoverished, or she also didn't want them to grow up with substance abuse issues. And she wanted them to have a better life, better opportunities for a better life.
So we've been on the somber trek for 45 minutes. I believe it's about time that we do this donation thing.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Enough crying for me. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. Uh, hold on a second. Let me. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Here.
Dan, uh, Dombey asks or adds, North America has Native Americans. Other indigenous cultures don't share the same exact history, but have survived their own to be sure. This is a great segue into action against hunger. You know, there's been a handful of things that I've watched that do make great segues into one topic to another, but then when you call it out, was it really that great of a segue anymore? I feel like calling out a great segue is it just kills its greatness.
Oh no. Okay. Are we frozen? Am I frozen? Oh jeez.
I have like a lower frame rate as your computer tries to handle doing both things. Dombey adds, they're helping indigenous people around the world in small communities to gain food security via sustainable food sources and access to clean water. Excuse me.
Yeah, clean water is extremely vital. I mean, what are 90% of our bodies made of water? I mean, that's how you
Yeah.
grow food and crops and stuff. I
It
mean,
is absolutely vital to survival, but also because it is a universal um, mixing. It mixes with everything. It is super easy to become contaminated and carry unhealthy pathogens and nasty stuff that's going to make you sick. So clean water is incredibly important.
let's see. All right. So, with this month's $2 Tuesday, we were able to um, be able to. Let's see. I cannot figure this out. Every time I go to a different site or whatever, it wants to like act weird and not like I'll get out of the full pop-up screen of Discord and it will be like it shows nothing but blackness. I don't know why it's going. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll have to figure that out. We were able to um, raise $20, which isn't exactly the greatest, but you know what? One day I'm hoping we'll be able to do much more than that. Um, but it is what it is, and honestly, it's better than nothing. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
It's $20. Oh, good, they do PayPal.
I'm also looking forward to a day when we can uh, effortlessly, more charmingly fill the gaps and voids between bits and segments.
Oh, yes.
Not necessarily fill dead air, but
I
uh,
mean,
be able to carry the
awkwardness.
energy through awkward situations
I
where one person's attention is focused on another thing, and then maybe I can come in with a nice little, well, I was going to say limerick, but I think that's like a dirty story or something, or dirty joke. I don't know. Either way, come in with some kind of thing to share or add to
Ooh,
contribute.
it's really
Like if
bright.
I knew more about this organization that we're donating to this month, then I could fill the space as eloquently and effortlessly as T seems to do it.
Right? He's really
I
good at it.
it does come off so effortlessly, but I do wonder how much of it has been practiced, or maybe T is just that dang amazing.
T is just really a good conversationalist. All right, there we go. Yay! Thank you for saving lives. I don't know if anybody can see that though. Okay, there we go. Oh,
Um,
see if I can.
um, yeah, a thank you message not for us, but for the generosity of our patrons and people who go to our site and purchase our uh, humbly created products. We very much appreciate you coming to us and buying from us, and for joining us in these streams and affording us the opportunity to be able to contribute in even just a small way.
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh, Dombey says they practice a lot. Please don't get confused.
Well, I'm living full of my delusion that you are an expert and you know exactly what you're doing, so.
See, this is where I say game notice game, because when I'm on fire, it's definitely because I practiced, not because I am naturally loquacious and able to just spew uh, wonderfully composed sonnets just from the tip of my tongue.
I don't know. I think you and T are so much better with your words than I am. I get so scrambled and so lost in the sauce that I forget. Like I forget where I'm going all the time.
Well, I have compulsive tendencies, so I tend to focus on a specific thing with laser accuracy and intention. So I will maintain a thing for a long time, but it means that I suffer in multitasking, which technically speaking, everybody suffers from multitasking because, like, the brain can only focus on a certain number of things with a certain level of acuity
Mm-hmm.
for so long that once you get to a certain point, becomes overwhelming, and then you start failing at everything. And I think that's kind of where attention deficit issues come into play, where just there's so much stimulus from all different directions that just can't be phased out, that it just becomes overwhelming.
Kind of feel attacked. I know you're not trying to attack me or anything. I have adult ADHD and it's kind of hard to live with
Well,
sometimes.
that's actually been something I've been curious about myself, is if I have some form of attention disorder, but I don't know if it necessarily goes either as far as something that you experience or other people experience, or it's because, of course, it's all on a spectrum, so I have no idea where I would fall on that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a particular vested interest in finding out if
Fair
I do,
enough. Yeah.
because like it's not disruptive. I've just noticed some things happening over the last couple years, which could also have been from like bad working conditions where I was completely overwhelmed all of the time, constantly in this fight or flight situation where everything all the time was overwhelming, and so
Yeah.
my memory started to plummet and all this other stuff. So like it definitely gave me the impression that I might be like that. But as work conditions have improved, as I got a better job, doing a little bit more, a little bit less stressed work, or stressed in a different way.
Right.
Um, I've noticed that a lot of that stuff kind of comes back, but I still have this issue about being able to maintain focus on a single thing the way I normally am. When I'm back at home, though, that laser focus returns, and so I'm able to just sit there and do one thing for like hours at a time completely. And that's where I think it might be the opposite side of the spectrum. Whereas I'm not overwhelmed by a bunch of things, I'm overwhelmed by just this one thing. I get so focused on it that I start ignoring other signs. So like I'll come out of this uh, zen-like state of flow, as you've called it before, um, where I've completely ignored that I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, I have to use the bathroom, and I've needed to use the bathroom for like 3 hours. an exaggeration
Oh yeah, no, no, no. I'm the
because I
same
got sick
way.
1 year and now I need to go to the bathroom a lot more often than I actually do. It's just like a trauma response to the thing that happened. So
Same. I got pregnant a couple of times, and now, and now I have to go to the bathroom like all the time. No,
But to go back to chat here, Dom adds, the goal is and always has been that one day we can donate much more often. We know how important these donations are. In the right hands, even $1 can go a long way in changing the world.
precisely.
Don't forget that in December there will be no change in chill. We're all taking
Hmm.
time to be with family and to prep for next year. So we'll be returning in 2022. Yes, any sales or whatever, I forget what the spiel is. Whatever that would normally contribute towards a change in chill at the end of the month is going to be rolled over into January. So
Hmm.
January will be the culmination of January and December.
Yeah, so it basically be like a month's worth, like we normally
Two
do.
months, a whole 2 months.
Well, there was going to be only $2 Tuesdays in December,
Oh,
and
okay.
about two in January. So that's like a month's worth. So like December and January we combine together, and we'll have a change and chill in January. At the end of the last Tuesday in January is usually when we always do our change and chills. Hopefully we'll come up with something nice because it's gonna be the new year. We should do something New Year related. Maybe wear some funny party hats, even though it's like well into the new year. Like why not? Let's do something. Um,
It'll be in the new year for us.
can you peep my my moccasin stocking? I have four of them, but you can't see them. There's one of them. Isn't it cute? Isn't it?
I see a dark spot on the wall.
Oh, it's a moccasin stocking. Mama gave it to me. So she gave us all one, but I just hung them up on the wall. Ah, I just smacked my mic.
I
Sorry.
can see it a little bit better on the YouTube stream.
Oh,
It's
okay.
harder to see it, but on the also in Discord, it's this tiny little 1 inch box by 1.5 inch thing.
Fair, fair,
So that's not exactly
fair.
helping me any.
I think it's cute. Yes. So I think we're gonna have one more kit out in December, and then we won't have any more new releases. I think the last. Hold on, let me double check. Where's my phone? Okay.
Yeah, one more kit. Not this week, but next week.
Yeah. Our last $2 Tuesday will be on the 14th. So that would be like the last new release anything. We won't have new releases until like the end of January. Um, and our shop will be open. It just we won't just have anything new in there. So if we're kind of quiet on social media or whatnot, that's because. And I'm playing with the idea of doing Plan Miss. One of the my fellow planner friends, Sugar Doll Plans. She's doing Plan Miss, and she's doing like all backdated spreads. I think she was like behind since like September. Um, she's also a fellow Indigenous, a babe. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking about doing that for our channel as well. Because I'm backdated on so many spreads, and I am really happy about how the Brouhaha kit came out on in my planner, so I want to share that. I have it. I have the video. I just haven't put it up and edited it yet. I love it. You showed pics of the decor, and I like them a lot. I still have it. Oh, thank you, T. Yeah, I love it. The front of our house looks like a winter wonderland. It's like very like snowflake, snow. I figured like I'll bring the snow in, but it'll still be warm and toasty inside. So fuck the snow outside. But outside, our Christmas decorations are traditional red and green.
Hey,
Hmm.
I have to go potty.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited for 2022. I can't wait to hit 1 year. Can't wait to see the ideas come for fruition even more. Exactly. I'm really excited too. That's our really next big sale would be our 1 year shop anniversary. So weird. We're 6 months in.
Yep.
6 months, crazy. But it's been nice chilling with you. I know it was like really somber for the first 45 minutes or so, but like I feel it's very important that we talk about those issues, and since they're extremely close to us personally. Um, but yeah, it was nice seeing you and talking to you. See you in the next Change and Chill, or see you in social media.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Bye, guys.